Go ahead.
Good evening and welcome to the Doris Hall James Indie Show. I'm DJ and I'm your host. And this show is bringing back legendary artists from the past. And we're seeing what they're doing now because believe it or not, they're all still working in the music business. And we don't hear from them, but they're working and they have these gigs every weekend. So we want to just give them some prompts and shout out on all the things they're doing and for keeping our music alive.
That's right.
Okay, keeping it alive. Okay. Today our guest is Shubaby Schuler. Okay, and Shubaby Schuler has been around for ever, right? Okay, and he's done so many things, and I want to welcome you to the Indie Show. Okay,
Thank you, Doris.
So let's start off with you telling me how you got into music. Let's go from there.
Well, my mother was a concert pianist. My father played piano too.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, back in those days, everybody played a piano.
Right. Yeah.
So that was basically getting into the music business. It was just something to do. I didn't mean to really be in the music business.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing with different groups, but never thought I would have a career in the music business. I was into electronics. I was dealing with hand radio. I was making radios. I went to all these electronic schools. After I was 17 and 18, I was going to 3 different electronic schools. Never finished none of them. And one day I had gotten a call and Blue Magic sent me a plane ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the end of it.
That was in.
I mean, that was the end of me being home. And
Okay.
Because these guys was traveling. But before then, I did play with the Delphonics in '65.
Okay.
I was at the Uptown Theater. I was at the Uptown Theater with them.
Uh-huh.
And I played with quite a few different groups. But I still wasn't thinking about a career until Blue Magic started traveling. And that's when I was bitten by being on the road.
Okay.
And that was it. After that, I started playing all these other groups.
You got hooked, right? You just
Sort of.
kept on
Yeah,
it?
yeah. A little wild and crazy.
Okay.
Not too crazy, but you know.
Well, you know, you did well from back then, and you're still working now.
Yeah.
You know, now do you have an agent now that books you, or do you do it yourself?
Agent. I have one agent, Odell DeBose. He's a well-known. He's more of a promoter, but he's an agent for me and my band.
Okay.
And Odell, he's a good man, good agent, but usually we get called back maybe twice, 2 times, 3 times a year for certain gigs.
Okay, so we know you played with the Delphonics. So who else did you play with?
Like I said, with Blue Magic, I played with
Blue Magic, yeah.
Stylistics.
Same. Okay.
Oh man, McFadden, Whitehead,
Mm-hmm.
Billy Paul,
Mm-hmm.
Double Exposure.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so many girls, I can't even call them all.
Okay. But your main group that you played with back then was who?
Back then was like Archie Bell and the Drells.
Archie Bell and
now
the
we
Drells.
worked all the time. I mean, like they took me on a 32 one night, a stint, 32 one-nighters. And then about a week after that, we did 2 weeks of one-nighters.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Magic was my favorite group.
Okay. Okay.
I was with them for almost 3 years.
Okay.
And that was it with groups. After the 80s, I settled down and started doing production work.
All right. But did you play with Fat Larry's band at all?
No, I didn't play with Fat Larry's band. I went with the First Choice after Fat Larry.
So you played with the First Choice first?
Second.
Second. Okay.
I played with Fat Larry band when they was playing with Blue Magic.
Magic of the Blue.
The Magic of the Blue.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? We
was the Magic of the Blue.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you played with the First Choice.
Then I played with I think I don't know who I played with. I think it was Archie after them.
Okay.
And First Choice came after them.
Mm-hmm.
And then all these other groups came, groups that wasn't so well known.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would have asked me that, I would have brought a resume.
Oh no, that's okay.
You know, people say
No,
you
see,
can't put all that on your resume.
Yeah, and just remember what you can, because your career has stemmed from so long. You can't remember everything.
I remember playing with Tyson, and they was before they became the Love Committee. They was the Ethics.
Okay.
And
did you ever sing?
No.
Okay, so when you played piano?
I played piano.
Keyboard?
And, keyboards, yeah. And I would write out a lot of the music for the rest of the guys in the band.
Okay. All right. So then you got with the First Choice. You got with Larry Band, and you traveled with them, right? You did some traveling with First Choice.
Yeah.
Okay. And how was that experience?
With the First Choice, great. It was First Choice. We went to Canada quite a few times.
Uh-huh.
But we never flew. We used to just drive, and that was kind of rough. But
okay.
Well,
back in those days, you had to drive.
But with Magic, we was flying everywhere, and they had like at least 5 or 6 hits on that first album.
Okay.
So they went from not even paying their dues. They just made a record and took off like crazy. And I was blessed just to be part of it.
Well, Ursula is going to be here. Ursula and Annette from the First Choice. They will be here on the 27th of this month. And so we want to tune in and support them.
Yeah.
She's coming to do some shows in the vicinity. And she's going to come here at Philly Live Radio and do an interview for us. Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you writing songs, or are you still writing?
Yeah, I'm a songwriter.
You're a songwriter. So
that's my first love.
Okay.
I wrote the song "I'd Rather Be by Myself" for Ebo.
I remember that. Song? We played that for a while here.
Yeah. I wrote "Ready for Love." I wrote that with Ron Tyson for this female from RCA.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember her name. But I remember one of the greatest moments I had was listening to the string section in the studio.
Okay.
And that was phenomenal. That string section was like I never went to a concert to see the Philadelphia Orchestra or anything. So I didn't know what I was in for. But that was great listening to these people play violins, cellos and violas and stuff. It was awesome.
Well, you play a lot of classical music, don't you?
No.
Jazz?
Yeah.
You play jazz? Okay.
Amongst other music, but I don't play classical.
Okay.
I mean, I play at it, but I'm not really interested in classical music.
Okay, so when you were with these other groups, were you a session musician, or did you perform with the groups?
I was a performing musician. You would have 2 kinds of musicians. As far as I saw it, you had the session musician, then you had the musician that went on the road. And usually it wasn't the same people. It was 2 different musicians.
Okay.
But as the 80s came up, see, the 70s was my decade. As the 80s came up, I was just catching the tail end of Gamble and Huff, those groups. And it was just a few groups that was being produced then. And I would go in the studio and be playing on some of that stuff. I wasn't traveling much.
Okay.
And after that, I started doing my own production. When studios became, instead of being analog, it was digital, so the equipment was a lot cheaper. So we started recording people. And I was so turned around about production. I really wasn't doing much marketing or anything like that. I'm just producing people. And I would go up to New York, not knowing that I should have somebody else to go up there. Well, and I'm up there knocking on doors. And
yeah, you can't do it all.
No.
You can't write the songs, play the songs, produce the songs, market. You can't. Hey, let me introduce you. This is Art Austin. He's here in the interview with us in this interview, and then we have his road manager here, Carrie Williams. Welcome. Okay, they'll be interviewed after you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't do.
Now, I just wanted to ask a question because I remember Shubaby had said something about when he was playing with, I believe, was the group you said you liked the best, Magic of the Blue?
No,
Blue
Archie
Magic.
Bell. Was it Archie Bell?
Well, it was
Blue Magic.
Blue Magic is
Okay.
the one that he told us the story before about.
Ike and Tina Turner.
Ike and Tina Turner, yeah.
Somebody asked me about that yesterday.
Well, you want to tell us about that story?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a great story.
Okay.
We went to London, Piccadilly Square, downtown, right in the heart of London. And we went over there with Ike and Tina Turner. First off, when we got down out of the plane,
Mm-hmm.
all these people came rushing. And
Yeah.
I didn't know much about Ike and Tina, but I was saying to myself, I knew Blue Magic was big. I'm saying, wow, these guys are really big. And they rushed right past Blue Magic and to Ike and Tina, which they're really big over there.
Mm-hmm.
So we did the first gig. Everything was just first class. We did our first gig. We played out of these orange amplifiers. The name of the company was called Orange. So we played out of these amplifiers, and then Ike's band would come on and play out the same equipment. Now Ted Mills, the lead singer of Blue Magic, he always has something really fabulous going on stage, and this particular act, he would throw fire out of his hands. And so he would sing about, put a spell on my mind, he'll spin around, and the fire would come out of his hand, and the people just went crazy. Besides, the band was good anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time we got off, when Ike came on, they kept hollering for Blue Magic. And I didn't know that. And Larry James, which was the leader of the band, Fat Larry, he didn't know it as far as I was concerned. So one day in the hotel room, they said, "Yeah, you guys are fired, man." I said, "What?" "Yeah, y'all done." And they said, I said, "What did we get fired for?" "I don't know. Come to find out, they didn't tell us. We got paid too. We actually got paid for the time that we didn't even play. We did come back right away. We had to wait for the scheduled playing. So we stayed in Piccadilly Square for another 3 weeks. We got fired after the first week. And a side note to being over there, I was riding on the bus. I couldn't even understand what those people was talking about, speaking English. Anyway, come to find out that we was kicking it behind pretty hard.
How did you make it if you were fired? How did your living conditions, how did you make it over there?
We stayed in our hotel rooms.
But who paid for that?
I can't even remember, to be honest. I can't even,
Okay.
all I know is Ted was spinning around, throwing fire out of his hands. He done that at the Apollo too, and the fire got caught up on the that's another story. Fire got caught up on the curtain. So anyway,
you got paid for the entire
we got
tour,
paid for the whole tour.
but they fired you a week into it.
They fired us a week into the tour. And
But what was the reason for being fired?
because they was playing in the same amplifier that we was playing in.
Okay.
That's why I was saying about the orange. We would take our guitar and keyboards out, and their band would come in, and I guess we was hot. You don't know how good you are when you're on stage.
Right.
You know, people talking about, "Shubaby, you're a bad man." Somebody said, "Damn, Shubaby, you can't play squat." So you don't know what it is.
Right.
So, but we didn't know we was kicking it behind.
Mm-hmm.
And it was documented because it's in 2 or 3 different periodicals, magazines and stuff. And plus, they told me that
This was documented.
it was documented.
Okay.
And on that TV program that comes on, talk about Unsung.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they talk about that also.
Okay.
Yeah, that was on Unsung.
But that didn't stop Blue Magic because they kept on moving forward, right? They kept on
Blue Magic been
performing,
a lot of places.
and they were great, and they just kept on. So
Mhm.
that was good in a way because it showed that they are good, you know, and they were competitive,
Right.
you know, with the other groups out there. Ike and Tina Turner, as I was growing up, was always like an icon, you
Mhm.
know, Tina and Ike, and you know, anything they put out, I ran and turned it on, and you know, so to have someone come on the stage and kind of put them in the back for a minute must have been really something else
It must have been kind of hard for them,
to accept.
but they were class people.
Right.
I mean, we stayed at the best hotels. And as far as, I don't even remember eating anything while I was there. I don't know where I ate at or how I ate. Some things you just don't remember.
Yeah, I understand.
But I know backstage they always had a bucket of beer, a barrel of beer, and a barrel of water,
Mhm.
like they usually do. Everybody does that. And it was just great working with Blue Magic. It was really good. And but that's why I say that's my favorite group.
Right. Okay.
Because not just only working, being on stage with them, but even traveling. We just talked about each other like
It's
a
fun.
dog.
It's fun.
Man, you talking about people talking about each other. Just laughed all the time.
Well, now, as I talk to you, and I talk to you often, you're still working, okay? You're still writing songs. You're still, you know, touring, but I think you're touring locally.
Look,
Is that what you're doing?
Well, it don't have to be local.
Okay, it doesn't. But
Somebody, not my group. I haven't really concentrated on my group, which consists of Jan Simpkins on bass.
Jan Simpkins.
On the bass.
Hey, Jan.
And Red Holton on.
Red Holton.
On
Hi,
drums.
Red. Okay, on drums.
And that's my crew. Now, we always hire people to play guitars and other instruments. Like Bob Mack. He's one of the guitar players that we use all the time.
Okay.
And other guitar players too.
Okay. But so it's really three of you in this group, and then you hire musicians to fill in?
Fill in, yeah.
Okay. So you're still traveling. You're still doing that when you get a call. And I think, I ask you, do you have an agent, or do you book these jobs
We
yourself?
have an agent, but a lot of the group jobs come from just by word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Somebody tells
That's good.
Yeah.
So do you have any upcoming performances scheduled now that we can tell our Facebook family and friends about?
I wish I did. I guess every musician wish they did.
Okay.
But at the moment, we got things that's pending. I won't say anything. It's just pending.
Okay. So let's get back and talk about, I went on YouTube too, right? And I pulled up some things on YouTube. I see you have a variety of songs on YouTube that you put on there. Is that correct? Or is I looking at the wrong thing?
That was, we had 2 albums out.
Okay.
So those songs that you see on YouTube were songs on the album.
Right, right.
The first album was called Shubaby. The second album was called Still on the Run. And the first album was jazz. Basically, the second album was R&B.
All right.
And we hired this guy, and he did some work with us on gigs. I met him in the studio. He came in as a coach for somebody else that was singing in the studio. I was working with him. He came in as a coach, and he wound up being a singer in my band for about 2 years.
That reminds me of art. Okay. All right. So then, with that group, are you still with them? Are you still? Are there some of the guys that you're still?
Yeah, that's my main group.
Okay.
And we took off about a year.
Okay.
So we're back together again.
Good. Okay.
Everybody, they were all playing with different groups. So I told the guy, I said, why don't we get back together and start doing some work?
Well, I have a question. Like the songs that's on the CD. Can you release?
That's what I plan on doing, Doris. I plan on re-releasing our second album, which is such an awesome album. I love that album. And some people actually came to me and said, wow, shoot. They liked almost every song on the album. Yeah, you know, being what I say, I'm a Philly boy. And that music from Gamble Huff and all the other folks like Hurt and Bunny and all them guys, that was writing all these songs like Fat and Whitehead and all them guys. And man, they wrote this kind of music, and they actually changed the type of music that R&B the way it was going. Absolutely, because it was like a lot of church chords and a lot of feeling in that music.
Feel that
when I listen to the people up north, up in Chicago and Motown, or down south, down Watch Stacks, even California music was a little closer to Philadelphia music, but the other music for me, I just couldn't feel it. I just couldn't feel like I felt the music coming from my hometown. But at the same time, somebody said, "Well, damn, you home," but that's not what it is. I try to be objective and try to look at everything, you know, without a biased eye. Thank you so much, Gil. Yeah, you did. You said the right word. And I do that. That's what I do. And I always come back to Philadelphia.
Okay.
Man, I heard some stuff. I heard some tracks from How Melvin and Bruno's. That is unbelievable. Stuff from MFSB, like crazy. I said, man. And I'm saying these guys are walking around with that in them, and I got the same thing in me. That's the way I feel.
Right. Well, you know, if and when you get ready to re-record some tracks, or if you want to do some new stuff that you have in the bank, you know, Simply Music Studio is here. So I have to give a shout out to Simply Music Studio. Okay, consider us.
I love Simply Music.
Yeah, you can come and we work with you. We're super friendly, and we can help you with those tracks. We can get you something new out. You know, something, you know, good, and then, you know, you will be able to market that. Now, instead, like before, you couldn't market, play, and all that. So now maybe you could focus on the marketing piece. You know, you can focus on that marketing piece to get these songs marketed now.
Doris, I must say.
Play it back where?
On Philly Live Radio. Got it. Okay.
I must say, Doris, that I did have a deal one time. And around that same time, I was doing all this stuff myself. And my lawyer said, "No, don't worry about that. No, we get a better deal." And I didn't go back. And come to find out, the way I understood it, the executives at the company, what they did, they took the next album, the next record that was right behind mine, and they got big.
Okay.
Yeah. So I could have did something, but if they give you some consideration money, then it will be a done deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, just think about that, because, you know, we have Gilbert over here, and he's a good producer, and you're a good producer, and together you can collaborate and come up with something that's really good and different. I know, like with Gilbert, he does a lot of how would I call it? It's like groove. Is it a groove? It's a beat that, you know, it's a smooth beat, real smooth beat. And like I heard some of your stuff, I'd rather be with you. Is that it?
I'd rather be by myself.
By myself. But that was done in the past. So putting together those brains and those fingers and the knowledge and everything, we could get something really going. Okay.
You know, I wrote that tune with Joe Freeman, but that song is sequenced.
Okay.
It's one of the first songs in the United States that I understand was Sequence. Now that song came out in 1986.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nobody played on that particular cut.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, I can't say that, but I know it was sequenced by James Batt, keyboard player. I was traveling. I was actually still traveling then. And what I did, I wrote the music out, and they took it in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if I was home, I would have been on it, but I wasn't home. And it came out, and it blew up. And at the same time, that particular song was, I would hate to say, it was gangster driven. It was laundering drug money. I mean, I can talk like that on here.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Oh, you're doing it right. Facebook fans.
No. I didn't have nothing to do with that.
Okay.
I had nothing to do with it, but we're talking about 86, 9. We're talking about like 40 years ago. So
Okay.
that's what was happening then. But.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I have to watch my time, but one thing I wanted to mention is my favorite piece that you did. I always mention this, and that's the musician's directory.
Oh.
Okay. Now, I really think that's beneficial to all you musicians out there. They're singers, songwriters, and everything, because it's a listing of names and phone numbers. Let's say a guitar player, a drummer, a bass player. So if you need any kind of musical support, you have a number that you can call. And this was done by Shubaby. And when I look at it, it's
99.
when
99.
99. And how many numbers on there? It's a whole lot.
It was about 800.
Yeah.
More than 800, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, between 800 and 900.
All local? Or
I don't think so.
Mostly local.
You know, where they local?
People would ask me, and Alfie, my friend Alfie Pollard, everybody's friend.
Yeah.
Alfie, right? He would call me and ask me about somebody's number, basically.
Hey.
And the people would ask me all the time for numbers. So I just had the idea to make a directory.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the executive director of the American Musicians Resource Network.
Okay.
That's an organization that teach people how to get paid in the music business.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just one of the ideas that took place inside that organization. So when you see that directory, it would say American Musicians Resource Network Directory, Musicians Directory.
Okay, that's great. And talking with Shubaby, he's in the process of revising that directory, and hopefully it should be out like the first of the year. And you can find it on his website. I'll have it on my website, and you can go there and you can download this directory. It's really an important document that can be used. So I just wanted to give you a shout out about that directory.
Thank you.
Now, how about, do you have any inspirational words that you can give to upcoming musicians and singers and writers? Do you have any inspirational words to them or for them?
I sure do. What I usually say to folks that are, and it don't have to be a musician, it can be for anybody that's in the arts.
Okay.
What you have to do to really be good, you got to practice and work at it every day.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes, yes.
And basically, that's the bottom line. You can't like play a little piano, blow a horn, and then come back 4 days later.
I know.
No, you got to practice that every day. And another thing I would say is don't give up, because I mean, you can't get nothing if you give up.
And there's room out there for all of you. You know,
Plenty of room.
It's room out there for all of you. So whatever you want to do in the music field, or whatever field you choose to go in, you see lots and lots of people, but there's room enough for you. And people like Shubaby's here. And if you need any information, I'm sure he would be willing to sit down and talk with you, or text you, or email you to help you out. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, then. All right. Now, how can Facebook family, friends, and all of our friends worldwide reach? I'm getting ready to say Leroy.
Yeah. They won't get me if they say that.
Shubaby. How can we reach you?
They can always reach me through Simply Music.
Okay.
And my email, I don't, my problem is I just don't go on email that much.
Okay, well, let me give you my email. It's info@simplymusicstudio.com. And I check it every day. So if you have any questions, if you have any additions maybe that you want to add to the music directory or any such stuff like that, you can always send me an email and we'll meet with Shubaby and we'll get that done. Okay, and his word to you is what? Never give up.
Never give up.
Never give up.
Unless you're really serious about giving up. But if you get tired, don't worry about getting tired.
Well, can you really give up? If your heart is in, right, if your heart is in music, can you really give up?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I haven't given up yet.
I tried. Lord knows I tried.
Yeah, you know, you get frustrated and, you know, you have some bad deals and then you say, well, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm gonna do, but you know what? You're
Their
right
heart,
back.
I don't think their heart was really in it if they said that they got a couple bad deals. You're going to get bad deals. The music, the music
blow your mind.
They chew you up and spit you out.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to have a good lawyer.
Okay.
And you also always remember, if you're a songwriter, you are the publisher also.
Right.
Don't let nobody say that you're not. You're the publisher.
Mm-hmm.
And you had enough time for me to say about how to be a publisher. I can do that in less than a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
In 1 minute, you are the publisher of your songs when you write them. And the way to be a publisher, you just send away. If you live in Pennsylvania, you send them for application for a fictitious name in Pennsylvania. That'll just come to you in the mail. You fill it out, and you send it. I don't know how much money, maybe $50. You send it in, it'll come back to you, and you will have a company in that name. So if you want Simply Music Publishing or whatever, it'll be Simply Music Publishing. And the first thing you want to do is open up a bank account. That's a business account. And that's what I did. It's just that simple.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you. You know, you're always invited to come back, and
you're the best, Doris.
And you're the best too.
I want to tell everybody, Doris is the best.
Is it Doris? Is it DorisHall.com? Is
Doris.
that what? DorisHall.com?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
it's just a joke. It's just a joke.
I got you.
Okay.
I got
but no, Doris. Oh,
she's
yeah,
the best girl.
Okay. But listen. You can come back and maybe take the publishing piece that we're talking about and direct us on that publishing and that copywriting. You know, so maybe next time we can.
What's Roger saying?
Talk about being my ASCAP.
Okay, so let me see. Roger is saying, right on, Doris, your life program is a good outlet for the music business, the musicians in Philadelphia and elsewhere. Thank you, Robert. Thank you very much. Thank you. And then we have, right, Shubaby, ambassador to the Sound of Philadelphia. Tell your story, brother.
Who's that?
This is Roger
Mays?
No, I can't. Let me see.
Okay.
No, I can't see. Wait a minute. Let me get his name.
Yeah, Roger Mays.
Yeah, Mays. That's right.
Yeah,
that's
we
right.
got ambassadorship from Wilson Good.
Okay. All right. And I want to thank you. You got a lot of people that tune in. You want to say hi to them?
I'll say hi to.
Look at the camera and say hi.
Oh, that one there?
This one?
Oh, this one.
Yes.
Okay. How's everybody doing out there?
Okay. Okay. We have a lot. Eddie Holman. Eddie Holman. You know, I'm trying to get you. I'm trying to get you to do an interview. So come on in, Eddie. And we got Sean Miller, who I worked with as a school principal. So I want to thank all you, Marlene Broomer, and see the Kevin and Carrie and Vanessa Harper Simpson. I want to thank all of you for tuning in and sharing and supporting supporting Doris Hall James Indy. I want to thank you for that.
We thank you.
Okay, and thank you again. All right.
Okay, are we
Thank you, Facebook. We're done.
All right, we are now out.
That was good time.
Close it there.
Was that okay?
You did great, Schuler.
Okay.
Close it up there.
Interesting.